Welcome to the Introduction to Interactive Networked Music Collaboration by Noomt. Music and dance are forms of collective expression. A style of dance called contact improvisation highlights this powerfully. Dancers roll their bodies against each other in an improvised way that is less about control and more about mutual support and momentum. Likewise, in a drum circle, the rhythm that emerges is not pre-planned or directed by a single individual. It arises spontaneously from the interactions of the participants. Can these practices inform the design of digital musical instruments that embed complex modes of interdependency? Can we use these instruments to intensify a sense of connection and to experiment with novel ways of being together? This may sound like a very rarefied experiment, but in fact it mirrors the interdependency of life. This is what the neurodiversity paradigm celebrates. Several years ago, our research group hosted workshops with movement artists who co-designed collectively playable, wearable instruments with us. One time, we developed an instrument that became quieter, not with less movement, but with more. This inversion created a fascinating ecosystem of sound and movement. Each participant became acutely aware of not only their movements, but also the impact of their movements on the group experience. Noomt has co-designed an instrument called Wearable Jazz for 3 players. Each voice links up in surprising ways with the others. As in the workshop with the movers and pillows, this instrument isn't simply additive. What any player does affects what the other players can do. What kinds of experiences and expression does this lead to when people perform with it? So far, we've considered how networked wearable technology can be used to experiment with creative ecologies of sound and movement. But we can also leverage the connectivity this technology affords in online classrooms, where it can bring embodied activity back into remote learning. This kind of remote musical collaboration is known as telematic music. It has a fascinating history of curious artists and experimenters who linked up remote sites in sonic and even tangible ways. Around the turn of the millennium, a thick cable was installed in a city in the Netherlands and in Austria. If someone shook or struck the cable in one location, it would react in the other location as well. There have been many other experiments since then, but telematic music is still an interesting and enticing challenge. Noomt's instruments can be explored telematically by using available online conferencing services such as Zoom. In particular, the Rainstick is well suited to telematic music making because it is not designed to be an instrument that generates or encourages a steady beat. Rather, it's an instrument for exploring the density of sound and the variation of time. This focus sidesteps the ongoing challenge with telematic music, which is the problem of network latency or time lag. To sum up, interactive networked music collaboration intensifies feelings of connection and can spark new modes of collective expression. In co-located settings, working with networked sensors creates opportunities for novel forms of interdependent activity, which links up with the neurodiversity paradigm. In remote classrooms, wearable music reintroduces embodied learning and connection through rich and diverse soundscapes.